The November 5th general election is almost here, you guys, and I'm Ben Dorr, Executive Director with Minnesota Gun Rights. And in your district, 32B, House District that is, we're talking about your current state representative. You have two candidates on the ballot in November, and your vote may make all the difference. Again, we're going to break this down for you. If you live in the Blaine, Minnesota area, been to Blaine many, many times. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. If you live in or around Blaine, you might be in House District 32B. And I'm going to tell you about the candidates. Well, we're going to highlight one today who's running for re-election. That is Representative Matt Norris. We've been getting a lot of phone calls at the MGR HQ about Matt Norris. Where does he stand on the Second Amendment? Some people are confused. Not many people really know what he's done in his time at the office. And we're going to break it down for you right now, kicking it off. All right, so Matt Norris, as you can see on our beautiful little whiteboard over here, is the current state representative for House District 32B. While he was in office in 2023, he was a major deciding vote for red flag gun confiscation laws, which we are now living under in the state of Minnesota. This was Senate File 2909 against, hopefully, his better judgment, certainly against the will of the people. This was a hotly contested and opposed bill, very unpopular with the public, especially amongst the right wing, and a lot of moderates and a lot of independents in the middle did not want this law because it is unconstitutional and it doesn't save any lives. And Matt Norris was a yes vote for it anyway. Again, that was Senate File 2909. The next bill that he voted for that became law in Minnesota is universal gun registration. It's a de facto gun registry under statewide background checks. Every single firearm has to go through a transfer. You have to run it through a background check to transfer it to somebody, and it doesn't save lives. What it does is create a registry, a list of guns, gun owners, where you are, and what you own. Kind of like sex offenders. But he voted for it. Doesn't save lives. All of the major shootings that have taken place in the last 10 years, either the shooter successfully went through a background check and passed, no problems, or he just bypassed it altogether. But he didn't care. Matt Norris didn't care. He voted for it anyway. And then this year, just a few months ago, Matt Norris voted for House File 4300. And this was the bill to force gun owners to lock all of their guns in a safe that Matt Norris approves of, or you could be charged with a crime. Every gun, everywhere, all the time. Unless you're actively taking it out to go to a shooting range or something with it, it has to be locked in a government-approved safe. Now, that bill failed because gun owners shut it down, but the way it failed is interesting. Democrat Representative Matt Norris votes yes on it, but then Democrats in the Senate said this bill is unenforceable, ridiculous, and unenforceable, and defies common sense, and we trust the voters in our districts to use that common sense. Matt Norris does not trust the voters of Blaine, and he voted for this forced gun lockup bill, House File 4300, that the Democrats in the Senate refused to even touch. So that bill, thank God, got shut down. Now, we'll go to the other side of the map here, of the whiteboard. If Matt Norris goes back up there, if the Democrats maintain their majority in the Minnesota House, they want to bring forward an AR-15 ban. Well, they call it an assault weapons ban, but what it is a ban on over 200 different commonly owned rifles, many of them hunting rifles, sporting rifles, things like that, but certainly the AR-15 is among them. Now, Matt Norris is going to be a yes vote on that. Absolutely he will. He needs to back his caucus and get this bill passed. Then they're going to move on to magazine ban. They want to ban 30-round magazines. These are standard magazines that tens of millions of Americans own. 30-round magazines. They want to ban 20-round magazines, and they even want to ban 10-round magazines. So that would leave 7-round mags, which most modern pistols don't even have magazines for. They want to move us back to the good old revolver days. So he's going to be a yes vote on that. Now, a huge one that's becoming very popular in very far left states like New York and California, for example, is ammo registration. It's coming here. They're going to be pushing this legislation in Minnesota. Currently, our Attorney General Keith Ellison is calling for the outright ban of 5.56/223 ammo, the most common rifle round in the country. He wants it outlawed because it is a military round, he calls it. But if they can't get these things outlawed, they're going to register them instead. So every single time you walk in and buy yourself a little box of 22 ammo to go plink at the shooting range with, or pick up some birdshot to go do some skeet shooting out at the range, you're going to have to register that box of ammo with the government so they know exactly how many bullets you have bought. At the end of the day, what this comes down to is that Matt Norris has already proven himself to be an enemy of our Second Amendment constitutional rights. And if he goes back up there, he will vote for more of this trash. It's an absolute guarantee. That is the facts. That is the truth about Matt Norris. And now the rest is up to the voters of Blaine. Guys, and that's why Matt Norris gets a great big fat F rating from Minnesota Gun Rights. So whether you go out on November 5th and vote in person, or if you decide to do early voting, all we ask is that you vote pro-gun.